everyone, my name is Rachel. I'm a summer student here at the BOAA. Today we're going to be making a sign so you can update your home decor. It's a personal touch. So we're going to do a welcome to our home sign, and we're going to have to use a little pine board here. And yeah, let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start off with our piece of wood here. This is just a pine shelving board. If you aren't able to find wood, you can contact me through my email. It'll be on the material list, and I can cut that wood for you, and you can come pick it up at the BOAA. So first of all, we're going to start with the background. I use this paint here, but you can also go to the dollar store or Walmart or Michael's and get this crafter's paint. Any kind of acrylic paint will do. So your background color is whatever color you'd like to choose. I chose white because I'm going to be doing black and red lettering, but it's completely up to you, completely your style. I like to use this little foam brush. It makes for less streaks, and it's not as streaky as like a thicker brush would be. So what I would do is just put my paint into my palette here and take a little bit off and then brush it on. I've already done the background here, so once you're done with that, we'll move on to the next step. So once that dries, you're going to get your template here. I cut it out along with the black lines. And then what you're going to do is going to flip it over. I like to have kind of a softer surface underneath, so I put some paper underneath. Then you're going to grab your pencil, and with medium to light pressure, you're just going to shade over the back. And just kind of a messy shade, doesn't need to be in the line, but just make sure you're getting the outer edge of all the wording. Another way to easily do this is you can press it up against a window. So put the wording up against the window and then just shade on the back as well. It's easier to see the light coming through. And just carry on and make sure you get all the lettering. All right, so once you have that done, you can also go back. Sometimes if you're using a white background, you'll need a couple coats. I think I did about 4 coats of white on this. So you can bounce back and forth between shading on the board or shading on your template, and then painting your wood. So once your whole background's shaded, it'll look like this. Another easy way to make sure it's all done is put the wording up against the window, and then you can see shining through which pieces you missed of the edges and which ones you didn't. Then we're going to take our board and place it whichever way you want the lettering to be. You're going to take your stencil, your template, and set it on. And make sure all the corners fit. Make sure it's straight. And we're going to grab our tape. You can use painter's tape, scotch tape, whichever will stick to the board. I like painter's tape because it won't take off my background. Just make sure all the corners are on properly. And then I do at least one on every edge. So this is an important step to make sure your template is stuck in the same spot and it won't move once you start tracing it out. All right, so once it's all down and you don't think that's going to move at all, we're going to take a pen, and with hard pressure, you're going to go over, and this part's also important, you want to just make sure that you are following the exact line there, because this will be what transfers onto your wood for you to paint onto. You want to just make sure you don't forget any of the lines here, so you don't have to freehand it later on. Alright, so once you got everything traced out, it should look kind of like this, where you make sure you've got the pen going all the way around everything. So I laid down a towel just so when you're painting, you don't get anything on your surface. You can lay down newspaper, scrap paper, anything really. So then you're just gonna go ahead and remove all of your tape. Now you can paint the back of your board too with your background color. And for a more finished look, you can go ahead and paint the sides of your board with your background color as well. All right, so when you remove that, you will have your stencil right out onto the board there. So from here on out, you're gonna need a couple paintbrushes. There's many different sizes that you can go with. I like at least one fine brush and a thicker brush to do more of the filling in, and the thinner ones are for lining. You can use many other paintbrushes as well. Whatever size works for you, whatever you prefer, go ahead with your favorite paintbrushes. So I'm going to start out by taking my black paint here. Again, this is the paint I use, but you can go buy one from the dollar store or Walmart, again, wherever you would like. I'm gonna do my welcome to our home, in black. And then I'm gonna do the home in this red paint here, just to add some color in there. That red paint I got from Michael's. Now with the acrylic paint, you don't need lots, so I just put out a little bit there, and that should do me well. I like starting off by getting my paintbrush wet, and then I just dry it off on my paper towel there. All right, so since I'm a lefty, I'm gonna start on the right side and work my way over. If you're righty, you might wanna start on the left side and work your way over just so your hand doesn't run into the paint. So you're gonna take your fine brush, and you're just gonna work on the outside. And if you mess up, don't worry, because you can take your background color, which I would take my white, and just fix the line there where I messed up, and it would blend right out. So with this small little area here, you might just do the whole thing with your fine brush. And you're just gonna work your way down the letter. And then just make sure you cover that pencil line. If there is areas that you didn't get the pencil line, once the paint is dry, you can go and erase it. And then sometimes I just like to get all the dry paint off of my paintbrush and put some fresh one back on there, so I just dip it in the water and wipe it off on the paper towel. Let's just continue along the outline there. I also like to turn my board just to kind of work with the angle that you're comfortable with. I like going in straight lines, so I'll turn it so I've got a straight line going at me. right, so if you can see here, I went out of the lines there in the C. So I'm just going to show you guys how you would fix that up if you went out anywhere else. So you're going to want to clean your brush really good, especially if you're using black on top of the white. Make sure there's no black in your paintbrush and dry it. Then I'm going to take my white that I did for the background, just because it's a small area. I'm just going to take some off the lid there. And then you're just going to want to cover over that as if you're doing the lines, but as the background. And since it is white going over top of the black, it's going to take a little bit, but as you can see, I just kind of blurred that out. And then once this white dries, you're going to go back over it again. Sometimes it dries quick, or you can just wait a little bit. And then just apply your second coat or third coat, whatever it does to make that disappear there. All right, so I decided that I'm going to change up my coloring here. So again, you can do whatever colors you would want, but I'm going to add in this nice burgundy red. This one I picked up at Michael's. So I'm just going to switch my colors here and continue painting. Just make sure you clean out your brush if you're going to be switching colors so you don't get any contamination of the colors. And sometimes with the lighter colors you'll need to do multiple coats. So I will definitely have to change and do a second coat of this color once it dries here. All right, so there's our first coat. Definitely the home is gonna need a second or maybe even a third coat. But you can tell there's a couple areas where I kind of went over the lines, or the pencil, when I put the pen on the line, kind of moved out. So you can go over and erase some of those lines that you can tell. There's a little one there, and then I have to fix up a couple of the areas over here. But we'll go over with the second coat and then get all the touch-ups later. All right, everyone, so here's the finished piece. Hope you guys enjoyed the class, and thank you for joining me. So my name is SignItRT. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. And if you guys have any troubles with this, don't hesitate to shoot me an email. I'll always be there to help you. These are some other two options you guys can make. You're gonna follow the exact same steps as you would for the Welcome to Our Home one. This one's a little more personal. I added a couple pictures of me with my grandma in there. So all you have to do is take either a thumbnail or a nail, and you're gonna nail 2 into the side. I just measured 1.5 inches up. And then you're just gonna string some twine across them. So you're gonna get yourself some clothespins, and then you can add however many pictures you want, or if you don't want pictures, you can just leave it as a sign as well. So hope you guys have fun with this cute little project, and you can also design your own kind of project online and then print it off and use the same steps as before. Thanks, and have a great day.